Hey, ho, ho, ho. Carm Capriato, Remarkable Results Radio. Always honored to be the host of this incredible group, the Camp Group Coalition of Automotive Management Professionals. And we meet. I'll be okay. What's the holidays? Maybe I had some eggnog. Who knows? I want to bring up my panel. Every month we get together, and this group, whoever I have on from camp, all these great coaches, they share with each other ideas and talking points and trends that's going on in their world that they see, and they want to come in and talk amongst themselves for you to gain benefit from. So thank you so much for being here, Sarah Frazier, Vice President AIM Auto Ignite Management at autoignitemanagement.com. Hi, Sarah.
Hey, Carm. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Sarah. Just saw Sarah about a week ago in Nassau. It was just too
the
much
nice
fun.
sunny
That Carm
Bahamas.
Cruise 2.0. Jennifer Filzen is here. Rockstar Marketing.
Hello, hello.
Rock-star-mktng.com.
MKTG.com. Yep, absolutely. So happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Jen. Brian Gillis, Chief UNET Results Strategist from unetresults.com. And you can get Brian to brian.gillis at unetresults.com. And Brian is a new shop owner, 6 months now, and he's just loving life. And actually, that's what this season is about in December, right? I got my red on. Sarah, I see you got your green on. Yeah.
Looking good.
So look at, I love some of the talking points that you brought. I just want you guys to get it and go. But Sarah, I was intrigued about vision boards. Talk to me.
Yeah, so vision boards is something I've only started doing probably the past couple of years. And my husband thinks it's cheesy as all get out. He doesn't buy into them at all. And so I will say it's not for everybody. But I like to do mine online. So I go into Canva and I build them in there and I pull different graphics and I'll put different words and whatever. And I usually have a word of the year that inspires me or is kind of my word that I think about a lot. And so my word this year was intentional. And from everything from my garden, making sure whatever I was using in that space for was intentional, where the year before it was a lot of more aesthetic and just experimental. And so this year was very intentional. So I'll create this vision board on my computer, but you can't just create it and then forget about it. So I'll usually set it as a backdrop to something or put it somewhere that I'll see it often. If you make one physically, like if you cut stuff out of a magazine and draw and doodle and whatever you want to do, then put it somewhere where you'll see it, hang it up somewhere where you'll see it. And I don't really think about it necessarily in the manifesting way that like, oh, if I put this on paper, it's magically going to happen, right? If I put this amazing trip on paper, that's just going to make it happen. Well, no, it doesn't make it happen, but it keeps it in front of you to go, okay, well, what do I need to do to make that happen? And it keeps you reminded of that's what I'm working towards this year. Those are my goals. Or even if it's something that I know probably won't happen this year, but maybe 5 years from now, what am I doing this year to get to that in 5 years?
Jen, I know you're ready for this, but I can't hold Jen back. But as I've done this for 10 years, and I've heard so many incredible stories about owners encouraging their specialists in the bays to cut out a motorcycle, a camper, a home, something like that, and stick it up on the toolbox so that not only they can see this visual forward thinking, I wanna, so does everyone else in their life.
So I love that we're talking about vision boards. I have been doing vision boards since I was 25 years old. I'm now 55 years old. I've been doing it for 30 years. I do it every year. I go and I cut out the pictures. And if I can't find what I want from a magazine, yeah, I'll print it out on my printer from what I found on the internet. But I find the physical creation of it is so important. Absolutely, Sarah. You put it in a place where you can see it every single day. And January 30th, I'm hosting my Rockstar Summit in Monterey, and we're going to be doing vision boards. But what's also really cool is everyone is going to be there is going to be doing vision boards. And when I invite people to my summit, I want them to bring their spouse, because why not build your vision together as a couple?
Yeah.
That's
So
awesome.
we're going to be making some magic in 2026. So come to Monterey, January 30th. Bring your spouse. It'll be super fun.
You're 100% about the spouse issue. There's been a lot of discussion on the podcast lately about getting along and doing and sharing and working together. And I know Coach Rick White. He's out there doing seminars on working with your spouse. And he told me he put up one slide in the beginning of his thing, and it says, uh, "Working with your wife, just listen to her."
That goes for working with your daughter too. Just want to put that out there.
Oh,
Ah,
That was more for my dad than you, but it goes both, I guess.
you're gonna
it's
you're
good
gonna you're
advice.
gonna Tracy's gonna owe you $25. All right, Brian. Vision boards important, huh?
Yeah, I mean, it sounds great. I personally haven't had experience with it, but I may end up in Monterey. You never know. But
I
it
would
is
love
part
that,
of
brother.
it's part of my 6 steps. Like that. It's been out there for 1,500 years to achieve goals, and it starts with thinking, and then the second part is words, and so that pretty much takes up the vision part of it, right? The vision portion of that. Um, you start with your thinking, your words, and when I think about the words that are written down, and vision boards even that much greater, right? Then you take actions. You Those actions then become habits. You persevere through, and you reach attainment. And so those are kind of simple, basic, but they've been around for, I think it's the Lotus Code, been around for a couple thousand years, so long before me. But it works. It's that simple that it actually works.
You know,
Well,
there's
go
a
ahead,
little
Important
Tracy.
step
piece
for
that
goal
I've added
setting.
to my vision board that has actually really totally taken my goals and helped me reach them. I've got little paper thermometers, like when you're doing a fundraiser and you start and you keep raising it and you mark down what I've been doing that all year. So every single month I have two thermometers on my vision board. One is my annual revenue for Rockstar Marketing. The other is my savings account to achieve some really big goals. And it's just been so rewarding and frustrating at times to see it go up the thermometer. So here we are in December, and I can't wait to cap it off with like the final numbers. It's so motivating.
Yeah, that's really a
That's
brilliant move
huge.
to see to have a visual of that. And no matter if you open the bank account, no matter in what, in QuickBooks or in your bank, and you look at a number, it's a number. It may not necessarily be a goal, and I love that idea. So let's talk about goals from a perspective of it's 2026 ad nauseum. There's more podcasts and more articles and more people talking about, hey, what are you doing? Get up your butt, for 2026. Have you set any plans, goals, ideas? And when I think about that, and I want you all to chat about this, is how do we engage as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, our people in some of the goals that they need to be part of? Now, I know there's personal, there can be business goals, but there also could be team or individual goals inside the business that the owner would like to see someone achieve, or career goals. Let's talk about all that.
Yeah, we recently had a group meeting. I do Tuesday meetings with some shop owners, and because of the time of the year, we were focused on goal setting for 2026. And so what I found is that when you get a group of people together to discuss some of their goals, because they may not be on that vision board, they may not be written down or well thought out, but it's a good starting point just to kind of get the wheels to spinning, and trying to figure out, what is some of the most important things that aren't too large, because you don't want to set them too big. You want to achieve these goals, but it's a good time to start that thinking process in a peer group to really figure out what it is that you want to focus in on for the following year or the following quarter. And then, of course, like the thermometers, I love those because you have to be able to measure these things. You have to be able to go, hey, where am I? Am I in where I want to be? And so you got to figure out how am I going to measure myself to how close I'm getting to my goal.
I love that.
Right. And I think that discussion is so important because when you have that conversation and you involve the team in what are your goals, that's how you get the buy-in, right? If we just say, look, these are the goals, this is what I want you to do this year, we haven't gotten their buy-in. We don't know that that's what they want to do. So I think that communication and that discussion is such an important part of it.
Absolutely. And I'll tell you,
Yep.
SWOT analysis. I like to do a SWOT analysis every single quarter, but for 2026, I'm kicking off the year by doing a SWOT analysis with myself, but I've created a Google form and I've sent my SWOT analysis to everybody on my team because I want their input as well. Because when the team can see the strengths, the team can see the weaknesses, the opportunities, and the threats. It makes us stronger. Now, there's this really cool book that I just discovered. It's called Kill Your Company by Lisa Bodell. And what she recommends is that, yes, you have everybody in your team work on your SWOT, but you pretend as if you are a competitor of your company and you just kill your company and you rip it apart. You rip it to shreds with everybody's input to see where those weaknesses are, where those opportunities are, et cetera. And it really is a great team building exercise. It takes the ego out of things. It puts you in a different perspective. And I'm so excited about this. I'm terrified also of what the results will be, but I'm really excited because who better than your team to really cut to the chase and figure out where your essence is?
Ooh, that's
And
a
I'm
scary
kind of
one
curious. I'm kind of curious about this because so our company was just me and my dad for the longest time, and now there's 8 of us. And this year, like actually a couple months ago, we did the whole SWOT thing. We spent a couple of weeks on it. I want to know what is the best practice for you on actually doing something with the information that you come up with. We've got all of our ideas, and now how do we take that and make things happen? Like, have you found any good processes for that?
That's a really good question. So for me, I tend to I look at everyone's data, and I'm still collecting data right now because we are in December. I don't have all the data. I've got like 3 people that filled it out and 4 more people I'm waiting on their answers, right? But I have this kind of internal rule of like, if I see something at least 3 times, I know it's something I need to take very seriously. Right. So if I'm seeing the same thing over and over again, and I tend to follow patterns. So I know that what I'll be doing is I'll be tracking everything, putting it down, and I'll just be kind of like doing a tick mark, like how much did this show up? How much did that show up? And, sometimes you might get something really left of center that you're like, not sure what to do. But if anything, having a conversation about it with everybody, and it not only helps we as the owners to take leadership and take a direction, but everyone feels heard, and that's really critical for your wonderful company culture, right? For everyone to feel seen and to feel validated with their feelings, because they're the boots on the ground. They could be seeing something better than I could as the boss. So it's just super important to just work through it, and maybe we figure out, okay, these are the first 3 things that we need to focus on now, and let's table the other stuff for maybe Q2 or 6 months out, or whatever we need to do based on how big it is. For me, I'm talking about agentic networks and building them, and that's not a snap your fingers overnight thing, but if I don't do it now, I'm going to be in trouble in a couple of years.
Well, another way to look at it is what's going to impact your business the most. This is kind of, my mentor was an E-Myth coach, right? Oh, Gary Gunn. And so I got a lot of E-Myth stuff information. So what's the biggest that can impact your business the most? And is there something on your list that you've identified that maybe in some cases one item could knock out 2 or 3 of the things that are on that list? And so that's a good way to kind of prioritize the order of how you want to tackle these objects as they come your way. So, yeah.
We can't hear you, Carm. You're on mute.
I'm sorry about that. I love the whole idea that the goal discussion went into SWOT SWOT. A friend of mine just invited me to do his in a couple of weeks, and I've always reached out and told this to people because I did these in corporate America a long time ago. I don't believe that the owner of the business should be in front. writing down and managing and leading and orchestrating the SWOT, because too many owners that haven't been able to leave their ego on the shelf may look at someone and says, "You're kidding me. We do that really well." You cannot you cannot be the filter of anyone saying it, because an individual who says it and the owner kind of says, no one else is going to speak up. I don't piss the owner off, so I'm not going to agree with Bobby who said that. And that's why an independent person, the expert with the briefcase from the next city, comes in, gets in front, knows enough about what you're trying to do. And I think one of the beauteous parts of SWOT is to take this, ultimately when you're done, take the big S paper, put it up and says, okay, let's rate these is in order of importance. So now you take an A, B, and or a C. You can only have 3 different ratings per SWOT in the category. What's starting to cream up is, what do we got to keep doing? What do we got to get better at? What's hurting us that could be a problem? A threat could be an internal process, a system. And you start doing an A, B, and C. And then when you're all done, then the owner comes up and says, what do you see in the weaknesses and the threats that we may have to work on that could become part of a plan for this year? I hate to use the word strategic in a lot of our people's faces because they don't know what that means, just like they don't know what culture is. You can't touch that. Strategic, but you can literally put, listen, you guys are going to work on this, and you start assigning responsibilities. It may not necessarily be in that level of depth inside of our shops, but I've seen that work to the nth degree, to 10x. So I think when people say I'm going to do a SWOT, it's just not the knowledge for the owner on their own or the team. You got to take it one more step.
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely. Agreed.
So, Sarah, another one of your wonderful talking points was this, and I love this: make a stop doing list. What a perfect time of the year to say, I was really an ass all year. I got to stop doing that.
Well, I hope that's not on your list. I don't think it is, but
no, it's not.
Yeah,
but you know what I mean.
yeah. It, I think a lot of times we look at goals, we think about, what do I want to do? What do I want to achieve? How am I going to do this? But there's another side of that, of what am I doing that doesn't serve me, and what am I going to stop doing? And I've really, in the past couple of months, have started to learn the word no. And I used to feel like I had to say yes to everything. I had to say yes to every event I was invited to. I had to say yes to everything. And it got to a point last year that it was too much, especially as our company has been growing. And so I had to say a no to a couple of things, and it really wasn't as hard as I thought it would be. And people are actually very understanding when you have to say no for the most part. But so that kind of just, what have I been doing that I don't need to do? And then also, what am I doing that I am not uniquely qualified to do, that somebody else could be doing? And that I've just been looking into recently, because I started working with a coach a couple weeks ago. And that's one of the things he's kind of been drilling to me is, you're not uniquely qualified to do that. You don't need to be doing those things. Somebody else can be doing those things. So I'm really learning a lot of what I'm not going to do next year.
That's huge. I love that.
Yeah.
Yep. Way to go.
So shout out to Greg Marchand. He's been awesome working with me for the past couple of weeks. So
wow, that's cool. That's great. We're all built to do certain things. Okay, we're built, and that's the thing that I'm not a bookkeeper, but I'm the person in the company that does it, and we're not as big as you, Sarah. We continue to be a very small company, and I just got to get Tracy in the mood to say yes. I'll do the bookkeeping, Dad.
Yeah, we're starting to outsource some of that stuff, or we did our own payroll and we're letting it go. We're giving it to somebody else. We're not uniquely qualified to do it. So
exactly, yeah.
That's right. No, that's good stuff. Some of the things I'll ask my clients, just to kind of get the wheels spinning a little bit, is kind of walk me through what's the difference between a wish and a goal, to really get thinking in there. Because, you might, hey, I'd really like to attain this. So what makes it an actual goal is you guys had brought up earlier, having the vision board, right? So it's written down. right? It's written down. It's measurable. You can track it, and there's a timeline associated with it as well. And so those are mission critical pieces. If you're getting ready to set goals for next year, or even just for next month, just something to keep in mind. Be prepared that it's going to be something you're going to want to write down and track, measure, and set a date for yourself. And sometimes maybe it takes smaller goals to get up to your bigger goal. If you have a super big goal, well, how's it going to take? What do I need to do to achieve to be able to get to that point, to where it becomes way more reachable?
Yeah. And it is the daily discipline of moving in that direction every single day. Rome was not built in a day, and your goals and dreams do not come to fruition at the snap of your fingers. Sometimes your dreams could take 25 years to realize, but that's okay. You're still on the path. And then we have all 2020 hindsight, right? Like looking back, like, hey, look at how far I've come in 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. But we're just in the thick of it, right? So we don't know. But
Yeah.
I'm with you. I've been really focusing on investing because, as self-employed person, there's no pension for me. So I'm looking at, okay, how am I going to retire? Am I going to be able to retire? And my whole theme for 2025 is save and acquire, save and acquire. So yeah, one of my thermostat little thermometer things that I have on my vision board is watching my savings acquire, because you got to have a runway. Gary Gunn was talking about that during COVID. He's like, how are your savings? Do you have enough savings to get you through the tough times? And thanks to Gary Gunn saying, how long is your runway? Your runway is as long as your savings account. And I've just been working on that so much. And I saw a statistic actually recently that a lot of businesses have been working since COVID to really make sure that they have a good cash cushion. And it felt comforting knowing that I'm not the only one doing that still.
That's right. Yeah. If you're thinking about what kind of goal to set, that's definitely a very important goal. You got to have working capital.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of different stories. I've heard this, what prompts me to believe it was 6 months minimum, Brian?
Yeah.
Would that be a really good coaching
It's a standard
thought?
one.
3 months of working capital and 3 months of reserves, which would be basically
Same
three
thing,
times,
really.
6
Yeah.
times your G&A. Yeah.
Yeah. I think about that a lot. Will we ever have a pandemic like this again? What did we learn from it? What could possibly be there around the corner we don't know anything about? And will we panic under the stress of, oh, this is something new, oh my God, this could kill us all? Or we're tough enough, smart enough to get up and through this and not crush our worlds?
Well,
Yeah.
Carm, I've been studying a lot. ITR Economics is a group that I follow. They are an economic forecasting business that has 94.7% accuracy. And I was actually learning about ITR Economics through the automotive industry. John Davis, who is a shop owner in Boise, Idaho, he says, Jen, read this book, Prosperity in the Age of Decline. It's written by the Beaulieu brothers, who are the founders of ITR Economics. And they predict that the 2020s is going to be a very tumultuous decade. And then once we hit the 2030s, we're going to go off of a financial cliff. It will be a Great Depression that was bigger than the Great Depression of the 20th century. And so just the other day, I attended a webinar talking about it was titled Strategic Shifts for Resiliency in the 2030s. And so, I mean, I'm not here to be Chicken Little and say the sky is falling, but with every downturn, there's always an opportunity. If you are willing to adapt and to pivot, you can always make money in times of good and bad. And we know that recessions and when things are slower, that actually tends to be good for the independent auto repair shops, right? So even if nothing ever happens again, like a COVID, or even if, let's just say, the 2030s are not the financial storm that they predict and it's just kind of mild, hey, all the better. I'm sitting on cash and I'm investing. That's kind of what my focus has been, and preparing to make sure that my team is operating as efficiently as possible, because inflation is not going to go away, and we need to be watching our costs very closely.
Hmm. Yeah, and it may not even be a massive pandemic that strikes that, it impacts everybody. It could be just something localized, a natural disaster.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we see it way too often. Tornadoes, hurricanes, big, massive, even,
Fires.
you know, I don't get it around here, but big snowstorms and things like that can shut you down for quite a while. And so you got to be prepared for those rainy days. And so that's an excellent goal for anybody to set, is to build up those reserves and track it, right? Get your thermometers. I love that.
Look, I can't help but watch a news program, look at my waste of time smartphone
Same.
that doesn't have an AI something in my face, Jen.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm reading a book, The AI Driven Leader, and I can't put it down. I'm 3/4 through it. I hopefully will finish it this weekend. AI can either be your thought partner or your thought leader, and you have to decide what you let it be. And the book says that AI should be your thought partner. You need to be the leader in anything you ask AI, or anything AI gives it to you. You're the final say. And some of the case studies that have come out that are in this book that have been, proven with AI's support, have done amazing things to companies, but it's not taken them over. I worry about us getting lazy as marketers by AI. AI is just going to come in and do my heavy lifting, and that we need to pay attention that there's a whole new way of people needing to find us. Jen, in a few remaining minutes here, say the next 10 minutes, gang, let's talk about something that we cannot backpedal from in 2026. We either have to be stoic, strong, absorb it, listen, rationalize it, or we have to become a little aggressive when it comes to AI.
Well, I'll tell you, I love AI. I think it's amazing, and it is doing some of the heavy lifting, but you're right. You have to still be involved in it. You can't just set it and forget it. But gosh, there's some really cool stuff going on. Think about diagnostics before you had picoscopes, before you had any of the tools that Gary Smith or Adam Robinson or any of those folks who are diagnostics experts, right? Imagine if you didn't have those tools. It's harder, right? Well, now we have a whole bunch of tools. I mean, for social media, you can dream up an image that you want to create. You can go into Canva if that's the place you like to go into, like Sarah. Or for me, I like to go into Taft Image Builder. It's a free service, and I can just dream up of anything, and it's really kind of cool. There's just so many tools, and there are so many agentic networks that are being built. I'm currently in the process of figuring out how to build an agentic network where there's the brain, the orchestrator of like, okay, here's what we're going to be doing. And then there's the topic generator. Then there's the researcher. Then there's the voice activator. Like there's all these different agents that we're going to build. So the end goal is I push a button and I've got 30 blogs for the month, all great content, all reviewed, all edited, all high quality. And why wouldn't I want to do that? Well, because AEO is the new standard. So that is part of the reason why we want to learn more and be one with using AI tools, because answer engine optimization is the new SEO. I'm sure you all have seen it when you're doing a Google search, or even when you're searching from ChatGPT and you're asking a question. Well, when you're in Google, there's AI overview results, and it gives you the answer without taking you to a website. The trend is that you want to make sure that your website is answering those questions so you are cited in the AEO results. And so that is something that we are actively doing with all of our clients, asking AEO style questions with every single blog that we have. And it's about price, it's about comparisons, it's about this versus that. It's so many things that people ask. Why not put it on your website? Because even if you have a price range, at least you can educate people as to how much a brake repair might cost for a Toyota or what have you. But the point is that wouldn't you be the person, rather be the person that educates them versus your competitor? So make your website that expert, frequently asked questions on steroids place to go.
I think what I just heard her say is DIY marketing for top shops is a no-no.
Well, they can still do it, but truly, it's all strategy, and it's measuring, and it's managing. So you can indeed do it yourself, but you just better know what you're doing.
It's a full-time job in my mind, and I get that. Here, thank you for the 30 days worth of blog posts. But let me tell you, and what I continue to hear and what I've read in this book, you got to put yourself into some of those. You cannot take anything verbatim. If you don't put you in it, it's not going to be you.
Correct. It has to be your voice,
can't
your
lose-
input.
I feel like you
lose
can't
the human element.
can't lose the human element, the human touch. I mean, we all get frustrated with automation. I do as a consumer, I wouldn't have any AI answering my phones or responding to reviews and things that it can do now. It's just crazy how much AI is just kind of bled into everything. But I do feel like people will say, hey, you know what? Enough's enough. Like, where is the human element here? And I think it's pretty easily detectable too. You can read something and go, oh, great job, AI. You know what I mean? So it's kind of, I don't know, maybe not, but that's just kind of my perspective. And we've talked about AI in our group meetings, and I think it's a good tool. I mean, I've used it personally to help write, auto repair job descriptions. It's great. Could I do it? Yeah, it would probably take me a lot longer. But if you want a precise process and procedure on, removing and replacing spark plugs on a, XYZ, year, make, model, engine size, it'll give you all the way down. But then you do have to fact check it, which requires time also, because there can be some misinformation there. And so you want to make sure that you're accurate. But I mean, I think it's a good tool. You just gotta watch it. Like you said, Carmen, you got to kind of be the leader above the intelligence.
I had Keith Perkins and Rich Falco on a show that we did at ASTA. It just released, I think, in the last week and a half. And one of the things that Perkins said, as we go out and let AI do searching on the web, and again, this is a premier diagnostician, right? Owns every tool known to man. He teaches everywhere. He's in demand himself. And he goes, 99% of the stuff on YouTube ain't right. And that's Keith's perspective. Probably I would never consider challenging him. Well, if AI is getting all that information from there, it goes to the point where I don't care if it's strategic planning, if it's finance, if it's bank statements, whatever. Here's my 5-year cash flow plan because the bank wants to verify that I'm still viable to do the note. You can't let someone speak for you. You need to use it as a tool. So you have to be the AI leader, not, the AI is your partner and you're the AI thought leader. You cannot take it verbatim. Absolutely. And then, Brian, one of the big takeaways that I had is, I'm not going to let that happen. I look down, Brian's got some gray in his beard, you see, just like I do. And the first thing that I thought is, could this be generational? And I'm not picking on you, man. I love you to death.
Could be.
But are we saying, listen, I can't let that happen?
It could be, but Gen Z is also quite skeptical of some AI. Like, there's a lot of misinformation, and that tends to create a lot of fear. I will say, I think this was a couple years ago. The first time I ever used ChatGPT was because of Jen. I don't know, Jen, if you remember that conversation we had, but you were like, it's not going to go away, and the companies that are using it are going to, be further ahead. And I was like, well, I better figure out what this is all about. And I mean, so I think some of it is generational, but I think there's a lot of just, I think the misinformation is what can be really off-putting about it. So.
Well, it's so funny. It's like I thought that I was a complete badass because I was using AI to help me write my most recent book, which came out in 2024. And so here I am thinking, oh yeah, I'm ahead of the curve. And then I met other shop owners and businesses and other people that are like way ahead of me. I'm like, damn it. so it's like it's evolving so quickly. Like how a comet just streaks across the sky. You've got that long tail. I'm somewhere in the tail of that comet. I just don't want to fall out of the tail because it is just accelerating so fast. And I feel like I'm drinking from a fire hose every day, studying AI.
Jen wants to stay in the dust.
I do. I love being in the gold dust, the glitter.
Stay in the dust. Be in the tail.
Marketing is a long tail approach after all.
Yeah, be in the tail. That's your new thing. Which is no, I don't want no, get in the tail with me here.
It's fun.
Breathe this dust in, baby.
I mean, I'm having so much fun like creating things like one of my clients is not in the auto repair industry. He is ERS shading in San Jose. He does retractable awnings and pergolas and shading for your home. And he has an electrical license. He's like, well, I'm thinking about getting into doing electrical work as well, because that is recession resistant and that's a service he can start doing. So he's like, what should we do? What should we play with ERS? And so we went into ChatGPT and we were like, okay, what can we call this new division using the ERS? So it's super fun and it's not to be scared of. It's meant to be a plaything that you use for good.
I love what she just said, and I call it's scary good, but you have to scary good, but you have to oh my God, but ooh.
Oh, so I hear you all, I'm sure, have heard of the great country artist Randy Travis. I hear he's writing an album. Well, he wrote an album. AI is going to sing the album because he can't sing anymore. That's just amazing to me. It blows my mind. He's definitely one of my favorite country singers, and I'm just waiting to see what's this album going to be like. That's basically done by AI. It's crazy to imagine, but like you said, maybe it's crazy good. I don't know, a bit crazy scary.
My husband and I were screwing around on ChatGPT about a couple months ago. We decided that we wanted to do kitty cat karaoke. What we mean by that is we were going to take a song that we knew and we were going to have ChatGPT, like, let's just say, pick the Randy Travis song that you like the most, Brian.
Deeper Than the Holler.
Deeper Than the Holler. Okay, Chat. I challenge everyone to do this. Okay, go to ChatGPT. Say, in the style of Randy Travis's song "Deep in the Holler," write lyrics about a cat that goes out and explores the neighborhood at nighttime. And so ChatGPT wrote out lyrics about a cat, and then we sang to the tune. It was like our own little karaoke, and we were laughing uncontrollably because was it perfect? No. Was it hilarious? Absolutely.
That's crazy.
So so you can have fun with it. I guess one of the things that I'm hearing is if you don't play with AI, you're never going to realize there's this moment listen, I've been there, I've done that, and I was an outlier until I started to read the book. And the minute I read the book, I took concepts within the first 20 pages and I went to AI and it was like, Carmi, listen. And it was like, they know me. They know exactly what I do. They know I'm a podcaster in this industry, and everything that's coming back is coming back at, I know more about you than you think you know. And I didn't, and I wasn't upset or anything. I was saying, wow. I have a new employee.
Absolutely.
Never calls him sick.
There was a class I was teaching. I think it might have been a class Tracy and I did together. And I wanted to put a resource list of episodes that you had done that tied into the topic that we were talking about. And I went to ChatGPT and it pulled every single Remarkable Results episode, told me who was on it, what the title was, put it into our workbook for the class.
I know, Sarah, I have yet to go to ChatGPT and ask them anything about our content. But now that you've said
I
that,
I had a
we just go ahead.
I was just going to say I had a client find me through ChatGPT. I was like, so because well, how'd you hear about me? He goes, man, I ChatGPT'd it, and I was like,
Way
really?
to go.
Blew my mind.
So you're right, and we just released our own listening app. You can get it at the any of our websites. There's all kinds of links right to Apple or Android. And we were talking about SWAT earlier, and so while you all were talking, I looked it up. We just recently released it, October 2025. It was a SWAT. It was a Town Hall Academy 454. So if you go to our app or our website, Town Hall Academy, THA 454, it is a really open-eyed discussion on a SWAT. And to go back to why that was, I believe, such an important part of this camp discussion, I don't think when I'm chatting with people about this, Jennifer, I think one of you may have said, yeah, we're trying to do this monthly, weekly, quarterly with our people, myself, and constantly review if has anything improved or changed. And it is SWOT. I want to do a SWOT. No, it's a fabulous strategic, tactical, and leadership tool that you can use on yourself, on your family, on you could do a SWOT on a new build home. I mean, oh my God. And every 2 weeks it's going to change. It's going to change because things don't always go right in business and in life, and it's really kind of nice to regroup and not do this. So yeah, I'm going to do it for a friend's shop who's got about a dozen employees. I just can't wait. I think he's going to learn an awful lot. So hey, listen, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Hanukkah, all the great holidays that are coming up. Thank you to the great team from the Coalition of Automotive Management Professionals, CAMP. Thank you, Sarah Frazier from AIM Auto Excite Management, Jennifer Filson from Rockstar Marketing, Brian Gillis from UNet Results. He's a chief strategist there and a business coach. So appreciate this warm, great discussion. Go get in the comments dust.
Thanks, Carm.
We love you, Carm.
Merry Christmas, everybody. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Happy holidays.
Yes, you all are superstars.